Is it because their focus is on something else? Yeah, just sort of those two pieces. What do you think the actual motivation is, and why do you think there's been
pricing?
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Fox 32's Good Day Chicago.
All right, after a wet night, we're going to start to dry out around the city. Mark Strell is here to give us the latest on the weather forecast. Another service is being held today as friends and family come together to remember civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson. And daylight saving time almost here. What doctors are saying about the impact it has on teenagers. Good morning. Saturday, March 7th. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Jake Hamilton. More importantly, this is my man, Mark Strell. Good to
What's
see you,
going
buddy.
on, brother?
Good morning, my friend.
Good to see you.
A little bit of a trade-off. I feel like we've got some temperatures that, no longer require the big, giant, puffy coats.
That's true.
But the trade-off is, for a while at least, it did require rain jackets.
Raincoats, especially yesterday and last night. And, we went from pretty dense fog across parts of the area into sunshine. The temperatures rocketed all the way up to nearly 80 degrees across parts of the area.
Love it.
Other parts only in the 60s, so, parts are parts.
I'll take only 60s.
Well, we're only in the 60s today, which is still well above average today. We should be up into the 40s. That's about normal. So we're going to come slamming back down again this afternoon before another pretty decent day coming your way again tomorrow.
Oh, well, this is the big story out of this weather. Plenty of communities in the south suburbs had to deal with flooded streets Friday night. This includes Linwood and Chicago Heights. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's unbelievable. It was no joke about, some of this weather that came through.
Yeah, we were tracking this storm system yesterday afternoon. This was an area where there was a flash flood warning for a few hours late yesterday afternoon into the evening. They had 2+ inches of rainfall that came down in at least two waves, one after another, and you can see the flooded conditions there. So
is this? I know you guys talked a lot about the weather that was going to be on the way yesterday. Is this sort of what you thought was heading our way?
Yeah, we were definitely looking at the possibility of some severe weather. We were kind of between a 1 and a 2 on a 5 scale of severe weather yesterday, and you could see the heavy rainfall, the heavy downpours that created this flooding situation there yesterday. And we had tornadoes across the Midwest, tornadoes across Oklahoma, and today should be a lot quieter.
All right. Well, for now, it's looking like it's going to be just hopefully get it through, dry out.
Jake, I got some good days coming for you.
You know what? I'll take them.
Tomorrow? Well, today's not going to be a bad day. It's just that we're going to be in cloud cover. We start out with some mild conditions up into the 60s. But again, those temperatures come tumbling back down into the 40s by this evening. And tomorrow, some sunshine with temperatures back up into the 60s. This is the rainfall that is pushing away from us right now. Still across parts of northwest Indiana, a little bit of light rainfall. But we will be drying out as we go through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. I think this is what our day is going to look a lot like. A lot of clouds around. Temperatures not that bad, but there's a cold front pushing through, and that's why we'll see daytime highs touch on the upper 50s and low 60s, but then come pushing back down into the 40s by late afternoon and early evening. And winds slacken off a little bit, but then they pick right back up as we go through the next 24 hours. Already a little bit cooler air up to our north and to our northwest. 57 in Rockford right now, 60s here in Chicago. Winds are still out of the south here, so we really haven't tapped into any of the cooler stuff yet. 26-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Midway. Right now, that's about the biggest wind gust we see at the moment, so the winds will taper a little bit as that cold front comes through. These are the showers that have moved in overnight into the early morning hours, now pushing away from us. So again, drying conditions, and you can see another round of some heavy rainfall across parts of that rain-soaked area that is just to our south. That is snowfall from Minnesota back in the northwestern Wisconsin. A little bit of freezing precip in there as well. Stronger showers and thunderstorms this hour across southern Illinois, southern Indiana. They continue to push off to the east as well. Clouds around today. Temperatures, though, still fairly on the mild side, Jake.
Well, talking about that weather, Mark, cleanup is underway for parts of southwest Michigan after multiple tornadoes went through the region. At least 4 people are dead, while several others were hurt. The tornado outbreak expanded across several Michigan counties. Michigan police confirmed 12 injuries were due to the storm system. In Three Rivers, Michigan, trees and power lines were brought down. Multiple buildings and cars were also destroyed. Some residents say the outbreak was surreal.
Everybody's phone went off. Everybody's phone went off. Guests, everybody.
Yeah.
And then the lights started flickering, and that's when I started getting everybody inside. I had one of my servers raise their hand. I'm like, that's Kaylina. Everybody follow Kaylina into the kitchen. I already gave them a warning, like this might potentially happen.
The red van is over there.
Yeah, it's destroyed with trailers.
Destroyed with trailers. How did anybody make it? We were literally at Myers.
We were literally
You were across the street?
Yeah, we work at Myers.
We were like grasping each other's hands.
Nearly 70 million Americans may face severe weather conditions this weekend. Services honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson are set to continue this morning after many people paid their respects on Friday. Services were held at the House of Hope on Chicago's South Side. The public was invited to come and pay their respects to Reverend Jackson. He died back on February 17th at the age of 84. Many local leaders, including Mayor Brandon Johnson, Governor J.B. Pritzker, Chicago Cubs owner Tom Ricketts, and others attended the service.
See, in America, we find ourselves at a bridge, and we are confronted in this moment. And that bridge is now described as borders, where borders get to determine how human dignity is determined by which side of the border you live on. He understood the bridge. And so now we are in the midst of a choice to choose hope over despair, light over darkness, love over hate, because he knew there was too much to gain on the other side of the bridge. Bishop shared, I think I feel my help coming.
Here in Chicago, he was our neighbor. He was our friend. We were so proud. We are so proud. Here, his message of hope was one he offered in a friendly smile to the child playing in front of their home, or the tap on the shoulder for the young man looking for just a little bit of encouragement. He taught us to expand our ambitions and dare to imagine a better world.
Services will continue today with a homegoing celebration of life at Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters starting at 10 a.m. Former President Barack Obama was also in attendance, remembering the Reverend as a giant in the world.
It is an honor to join you today to celebrate the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, a man who, when the poor and the dispossessed needed a champion, and a country needed healing, stepped forward again and again and again and said, "Send me." Reverend Jackson's immense gifts were apparent at an early age, even if his circumstances conspired to try to hold him back.
Former President Joe Biden saw firsthand Jackson's impact in the political world. The two came up in the Democratic Party together.
I knew him was determined and tenacious. I knew him was underrated, undeterred, and unafraid. Not a joke. And more than most, Jesse was dedicated with every fiber in his being to redeeming the soul of America. The soul of America. You know, Jesse came up, and I came up together as leaders in the Democratic Party. We had very different backgrounds, in some cases even different views, but never on race. Sometimes we went toe-to-toe. We disagreed on some issues. But that's what I actually admired most about Jesse. His passion. He was passionate. His passion. The courage of his convictions.
Chicago's dance community came together Friday night honoring the life of one of its members. 17-year-old Bo Flemister was one of 2 dancers killed in a car crash last month on the Bishop Ford Highway. Illinois State Police say their SUV lost control and flipped over. Bo and 25-year-old dance director Lazarus Hollywood Gonzalez were ejected and died at the scene. Fox Chicago spoke to Bo's mother as she was getting ready to say goodbye to her son.
Today I am preparing to release him to the rest of the world for the first time. And I am just remembering him and his laughter and what he would want. I will definitely miss him telling me, you can't wear that. Or, Mom, we're going to be good. I'm going to miss his smile. But most of all, his personality. So we'll get through today and through tomorrow as graciously as possible.
A viewing will be held from 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. today, followed by what organizers are calling a final performance at the Harold Washington Cultural Center. New this morning, President Donald Trump warns on social media more Iranian officials will be targeted, saying, quote, today, Iran will be hit very hard. This comes as Israel launches more strikes on Iran and Lebanon's capital cities. President Trump has ruled out any negotiations with Iran, calling for its unconditional surrender. Iran's president has so far rejected the idea of surrendering, even though he apologized for attacks on countries located in the Persian Gulf. Iran continued to launch drone and missile strikes at Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Just as we're getting ready to move the clocks forward by an hour, a new study shows many teens are already not getting enough sleep. Research found more than 75% of high school students say they're getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night. A quarter of the teens from the survey say they're only clocking in about 5 hours. The study, released in the Journal of the American Medical Association, interviewed 120,000 high school students for more than 15 years. Researchers found insufficient sleep was more strongly linked to anxiety and depression as opposed to social media use and screen time. Doctors tell Fox Chicago this weekend is a good opportunity to talk with kids about healthy sleep habits.
I think it's just a very good reminder for all of us how important sleep is, and emphasizes the importance of sleep in adolescents. And I hope it also sparks some attention to Illinois efforts to make later start school time. We as pediatricians and sleep medicine physicians feel very strongly about it. And I think there is a way for all us, including educators and parents and students, to collaborate.
Just a reminder, clocks will jump ahead at 2 a.m. on Sunday. The Chicago Bears have found their new center. According to multiple reports, the Bears have traded a 2027 fifth-round pick to the New England Patriots for Garrett Bradbury. Before signing a deal with the Patriots last offseason, he actually played 6 seasons for the Vikings. He comes with a $6.9 million cap hit for the upcoming season. Coming up, the music played a big role for Friday's service honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're going to bring you some of those highlights when Good Day Chicago returns.
Fox Local.
The music played a big role for Friday's service honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson. It set the tone, and it gave everyone who was there a chance to reflect on the Reverend's legacy. We wanted to bring you just some of the moving and emotional music from that service.
But the morning cometh, the Lord is our light and our salvation. Whom shall we fear? Don't let opposition break your spirit. It's healing time. It's hope time. It's Hillary time.
Ever learn to make common cause across racial lines instead of fighting each other over breadcrumbs?
We thank you that there was no fight too small nor too big that he was unwilling to take on.
We love Jennifer Hudson. Mark Strell, you know, I was saying all day yesterday that I was, you know, I just honestly, you know, yeah, it was raining and everything, but we got warmer temperatures, and now it feels like those aren't going to last as long as I would like.
Well, you know, they never do in March.
They never do, I know.
Right?
I know.
On the other hand, today we're in the 60s right now. Look at that little box right underneath your right shoulder. It says 60. That ain't bad.
I'll take it.
Normally, we're only in the 40s for daytime highs. We're already starting out the day in the 60s around Chicago. Now, yeah, we do have this. We do have some cloud cover. We do have some low clouds across parts of the area, but not as foggy as it has been over the last several mornings. So a pretty quiet start to the day. We've had some showers. Those showers are moving away. They're heading to northwest Indiana and moving away pretty quickly this morning. Now, the 7 to 14-day outlook. The trend is towards some cooler temperatures, and I'll show you that coming up. But for us, today, we are starting out in the 60s. We will come tumbling down as we go through the afternoon. So by noon, we're back down into the 50s. By 4 o'clock, we're in the upper 40s. We have some cloud cover throughout much of the day, but by late tonight, late in the evening, those clouds will begin to clear out. We'll have clear skies overnight tonight. Temperatures on Monday, I think we could hit 70. We must not have had any 70s in the little drawer. We've got 60s otherwise as we head towards Tuesday, and then we're back a little closer to normal with temperatures in the 40s. We bob up Friday and Saturday a little bit warmer, a little bit above average, temperatures in the 50s, and then we kind of bob around here a little bit before that trend that I was showing you, that 7 to 14 day trend with temperatures down a little bit cooler starts to take hold as we round out the 10-day forecast. Road conditions, as you might imagine, a little bit wet here this morning. Not bad in North Shore, Northwest, and Western suburbs here. But keep in mind, yes, some damp road conditions, so could be a little bit slippery in some cases. Now, Futurecast. Still a chance of an isolated sprinkle, maybe a shower or two around the region before we completely clear out. That's why we still have a small chance of some very limited rainfall here as we go throughout the morning and maybe even lingering towards the afternoon. But this will not be a big deal. Most of us will not see that. Most of us will continue to see drying conditions with some sunshine coming your way tomorrow. Sunshine again on Monday. Monday, we will be close to 70 degrees. So we got that going for us.
Mark, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about temperatures and using the word negative in front of them.
Yes.
So I will take this.
Yes. I thought you were very negative, by the way. No. Very negative.
I'll pump up the positivity, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, here's something you don't see every day. A pelican flies into the netting behind home plate during a college baseball game. Don't worry. Pelican's okay, but we're going to explain just how this happened and how he got out. When Good Day Chicago returns.
mornings on Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, this looks like something out of Bad Boys 2. A wild scene caught on camera in California. What? A boat flies across a freeway, over the center divider, onto the other side. Police say the boat came loose from a U-Haul trailer. A car in the fast lane on the other side almost slammed right into it. Thankfully, believe it or not, no one was hurt. Police are looking for the driver of the U-Haul who kept driving after the boat attack. Do you think he's out there somewhere still thinking? He just hasn't looked in the rearview mirror?
Yeah. You know, I thought I had a boat earlier this morning.
Didn't we start this journey with a boat?
Weren't we going to the beach today and we were going to go do something there?
Did you ever see, I don't know if you're a fan of these movies, Final Destination 2?
I did not see 2.
It brought about an entire generation of people who are afraid of log trucks now, because there's a whole sequence.
I was afraid of log trucks before there was Final Destination 1.
Then that movie's not going to help you. And this kind of now I feel like anytime I see anyone with a boat, it's just going to have a little PTSD now.
I remember being out in Montana as a young lad. And learning very quickly that log trucks always have the right of way.
And you know what?
It doesn't matter.
Just, you can never have too much distance.
No.
You know what?
No.
There's no need to drive. In most cases on the freeway, there's no need to drive like that.
You don't need to be bumper to bumper. The other thing that always freaks me out a little bit are the car haulers. With the car, because they're on there. They're very safe.
Of course.
Accidents happen very, very infrequently. But just the fact that they're there, kind of bouncing around.
There's a non-zero chance, and that's what matters.
Wow, that's the kind of language we use in my department. All right, well, here's something you don't see every day. Egbert, a pelican flies into the netting behind home plate during a college baseball game. Now, this happened during a baseball game between Loyola Marymount and UC Santa Barbara. A fan, there was a superhero. Jake, like you always say, not all superheroes wear capes.
Right.
A fan just sitting there in the front row, he helped free the pelican from the net. He went in there using his pelican skills to get that bird free so he could go back and live amongst the other pelicans.
And obviously, I know you have to have that netting, because those foul balls can be incredibly dangerous for people in the stands. But there's a bird's not thinking, watch out for that netting.
They fly into my window all the time. And it's kind of amazing that doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Or maybe just it's not recorded.
Or they just send the ball boy out there. It's like, wait, I didn't know that I had to climb the net to let go of the pigeons or whatever's caught in there.
You know what? We all have aspects of our jobs that weren't in the job description, but
who knew?
You roll with it, baby.
But you just step up to the plate, so to speak. Yeah.
Come on, man. All right, here's the story of a house named Brady. I think they wanted me to sing that, but that's as good as it can get.
Why don't you?
The famous TV Brady Bunch house is now a historical landmark. Los Angeles City Council approved the historic status for the mid-century house in Studio City. It was featured in the show's opening shots from 1969 to 1974. The house remains a beloved symbol of suburban life. Fans still visit, and HGTV even restored its interior in 2019. The historic landmark status protects the home from demolition or major renovations. Are you the type, obviously I'm a pop culture guy. I've never seen that house in person, but there are other houses from pop culture that I have visited. Are you the kind of person that would go see a house from a TV show or a movie?
Yeah, I think so, especially if I didn't have to go, 47 miles to go out of the way. But yeah, if it's right, I would love to. I got to tell you, one of the earliest houses that I came across was the Delta House from Animal House. And it was not a prop. It was an old rundown. This was in Eugene, Oregon, where Animal House was filmed. And at that point, the house was so dilapidated, because this was after the movie was shot, that the city condemned it and it had to come down.
No kidding.
And I remember a bunch of frats and sororities from around the nation are like, no, we should make it a museum. Well, it was already tilted over.
Just a little, a remnant to, some of the times that were had. They here locally, they tore down the house from Family Matters. Which is because I grew up on Urkel and the Winslows, and then I'm trying to think of some other ones. I went to the Exorcist house in D.C. And did the picture looking up at the window. You got to do that. And then actually, I stayed at. It wasn't the one they used in the movie, but the Stanley in Estes Park, Colorado, which was the hotel that Stephen King stayed at that inspired him to write The Shining. So I love pop culture things like that.
And if you go up, the one that was actually shot was the Timberline Lodge
in Oregon, right?
In Oregon, yeah, and that's kind of a spooky drive up there. So and it's funny too because I'm going to tell you a brief story here because you know what, we've got 2 hours here. I was out tornado chasing in Oklahoma.
That's the coolest start to a story ever.
and we made it down into Texas, and I'm going with my photographer, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, I have been in this town before, and he's like, what are you talking about? You said you've never been to this part of Texas. And I'm like, no, I've been here. We go around the corner and there's going to be this, and that. He gets in and he looks at me and it's like, what the heck is going on here? Finally, I looked it up and it was where the Last Picture Show was shot.
Honestly, I legit was thinking, I wonder if it was Last Picture Show.
It was, and it was they used the town as the set. There were no set building. They used it. And the town has such an incredible history and an incredible, the downtown, there's not a lot of businesses. So the author of the Last Picture Show took all the stores downtown, and it's like the world's largest bookstore. It's a store after store after store. There's 1 million books that are there for sale. So,
kids, if you've never seen Last Picture Show, rent it or buy it. All right, coming up, The Bride of Frankenstein back on the big screen this weekend, but this time she's right here in Chicago. We're going to talk with the stars and director about bringing the bride back from the dead and right into our city when Good Day Chicago returns.
What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, then we brought you back to life.
The classic tale of The Bride of Frankenstein is getting a new twist, and the story is being brought right here to Chicago. The new dark drama, The Bride, reimagines The Bride of Frankenstein as sort of a Bonnie and Clyde style thriller set in 1930s Chicago. Oscar winner Christian Bale plays Frankenstein's monster. Soon to be Oscar winner Jessie Buckley plays his bride. And the film is directed by actress Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I spoke with all of them about the film It's Chicago Connection and how this is actually a little bit of a Chicago Dark Knight reunion in a way.
I was wondering if you could sit in a movie theater next to Elsa Lanchester and watch The Bride, and when it's over, you lean over and go, what did you think about how I did this? What is the aspect of your performance that you'd love to get her thoughts on?
I like it.
Could I sit beside her? Yeah, I think I could. You know, I think I'd be definitely curious to have a dirty martini and chat with her about what it was like for us both to play Mary Shelley and The Bride, and what are the bits that that were kind of revealed to us in creating those characters at very different times of the world and of life. Like, what an interesting idea.
What do you want with a dead girl?
I'm the same. Born from the dead. I am a monster.
Yeah, so am I.
Physical transformation by the unbelievable makeup team is so incredibly cool. And obviously you're no stranger to a physical transformation for your roles, but you often do them yourself. So I'm sort of curious, whether it's the machinist or Vice or the fighter, how does a physical transformation affect you differently if someone else is responsible for it?
Yeah, you're on the money with that one. Like, because, you know, someone like the machinist, I just did that myself. With Vice, I put on a ton of weight, but then we had to get even more Chaney to it. So really indebted to all the makeup team who were brilliant on that one. And then this one, absolutely, I kind of realized, hey, look, the makeup, they're just as responsible for my portrayal of Frank as I am, because you can't play Frankenstein's monster without being big. We adjusted things. I liked the idea that the legend had kind of been affected by the game like Telephone, of witnesses who were terrified, saying he's 8 foot tall, and no, he's 6'5". He's a man. You know, he was a man originally. He had a flat head. No, he didn't have a flat head. Just his hair was like that. You know, but Karloff here, and no, he did have the staples. Unlike Mary Shelley had heard, she hadn't heard that, so she didn't include it. So putting everything together like that, but. I can't grow, you know, taller. I have to put in lifts for that, you know, learn how to walk. I loved the image for me that I loved was Sid Vicious in his white jacket doing My Way. And so we wanted that. And I went, all right, so let's not go with really massive muscles. Let's go with being more gaunt, but with bizarrely big shoulders or something that were odd and slightly off angle, and a broken collarbone and, you know, smashed up nose and everything. And so the prosthetics guys, my makeup team, were absolutely incredible with that, and just as responsible for putting Frank together as I am.
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
The famous Bruce Wayne. Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not.
Maggie, I'm talking to you in Chicago. And so not only do I love that so much of the story is set in Chicago, I love that it brings you and Christian Bale back to our city in a way. And obviously your relationship with him is different on this film than it was The Dark Knight. And I'm just really curious how that affects communication. Like, what is the difference in how you communicated with Christian on The Dark Knight as an actor versus how you communicate with him as a director and an actor?
Honestly, it was utterly different. It was almost like meeting someone new. I liked Christian on The Dark Knight. I mean, you know, I was his girlfriend. I mean, not really, but played his girlfriend. I thought he was great. I liked him. Liked him. But we weren't. I also had a 6-month-old. We weren't like super close, you know. And when I asked him to do this, I mean, it's like, yeah, I knew him a little, but it felt like reaching out to almost to a stranger. I had barely seen him since then. And on this, in order to create the Frank that we needed, who is a lover and a monster and so full of humor and vulnerability and pain and intelligence and sexiness and, you know, all of it, I needed Christian's whole mind and his whole heart. Like, nothing else would do. And so we had a completely different interaction and relationship. I mean, it was like we actually became friends. We actually became, I think, real colleagues and real partners in a way that, to be honest, in The Dark Knight, I didn't have all that much to do. You know, I mean, I couldn't get involved in that deep of a way. you know.
The bride of Frankenstein.
No, just the bride.
Coming up, Chicago back on the big screen again this weekend in Pixar's newest hit. We're going to talk with a Chicago actress starring in her own Pixar movie, Hoppers, when Good Day Chicago returns.
We put this into this.
Guys, this is like Avatar.
This is nothing like Avatar.
Whoa.
Hey.
How you doing, girl? Are we vibing? What's up? What's up?
I understand you.
And they were in the same den.
No.
It's set to be Pixar's biggest hit in years. Hoppers is now playing in theaters. The film is already the biggest movie in the country right now and one of Pixar's best reviewed films in a long time. But what's more, the lead star of Hoppers calls Chicago home.
We created a revolutionary technology that gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We call it Hoppers. Huh? We put this into this. Yes, yes, this into this. Mabel, be careful! This here will rock your body.
Obviously, I'm talking to you in Chicago. Amazing. And you've got some Chicago ties here. I'd love, whenever I speak to an actor with Chicago ties, they often tell me how they look at their characters and they go, yeah, I didn't mean for it to be, but there's a little Chicago there, a little Chicago there. Do you see a little Chicago in Mabel?
Oh my God, now that you say that, I absolutely do. I mean, yeah, she's like the person on the red line that doesn't take any shit. You know, like, she's like, leave me alone. But no, absolutely, she would kill it in Chicago. Definitely has some of that, like, you know, like, we're from the Midwest, we're nice, we're kind, but we got a little fire, and that's definitely her energy, for sure, for sure.
You could take her out of Beaverton and put her in, and honestly, the movie still makes
Absolutely,
sense.
I totally
I'm loving
agree.
this.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your name, Beaver?
Mabel?
You want to live here, you better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Oh, I am clearing the rest of the day. Let's hear it for Mabel, everyone.
For most actors, you kind of spend your life dreaming of this phone call. This phone call that you get from a studio like Pixar, where they say, "Congratulations, your life's about to change. You're not even going to be in a Pixar. You're going to be the lead of a Meryl Streep's in your movie."
Right.
Take me to the moment you get the phone call and they tell you you are not going to be in this.
Yeah, I've gotten that phone call before, so it wasn't, necessarily earth-shattering, but I felt so good about it, and it felt like I knew Mabel, and I knew her role, it felt too right that when I was told I did not get the role, I was like, very, very disappointed, obviously, but I was also like, that just doesn't seem right, like I really thought, I don't know, but you never know how things happen, how things shake out, whatever. So I'm like working through the stages of grief for like 2 weeks and, considering quitting forever and just like, do I need to like reboot my LinkedIn? What's going on? And then it all changed.
Now the danger of every time if it happens where you don't get a role in the future, you're gonna be like, all right.
Literally, I'm like,
in 2 weeks, I'm gonna get this role.
Setting up bad precedent.
Waiting by the phone.
So let me get this straight. You created a fake animal.
Yes.
Which makes the other animals think you're an animal.
Yes.
Guys, this is like Avatar.
This is nothing like Avatar.
I'd love to get your memories of recording the Avatar joke. Because it's such a great, on the nose, and it also helps that Avatar is a Disney film.
Totally.
So on the day, did you get to talk to them? Was there a backstory behind okay, we have to address the Avatar-ness of this whole thing?
I think there was probably discussion like that among production, and then when I was actually very first pitched the film, Daniel was like, it is a cross between Planet Earth, Mission Impossible, and Avatar. So that was always part of the pitch
Say less.
too. I know, right? And I was like, that's crazy, tell me more. And so that was always a piece of the puzzle for sure. And so then I think they knew, let's throw in a line about that. But that line in particular, I swear, there's probably close to 100 takes of me doing it. Because it was just so I think they also probably knew they wanted it to be that point in the trailer and all of this stuff.
You have to know that's the trailer.
Because it really does encapsulate what this film is, and it explains it for people who maybe need a little bit more information. And so we just a million different ways of saying it, of different intonations, of different whatever. So that line is everybody loves it, but I'm like, I've said it too many times.
I can't do it.
Coming up, one of television's hottest shows is back. We're going to talk with the stars of Bridgerton when Good Day Chicago returns.
attend the ball tonight and they will not appreciate any of it. Just once. Just have that feeling for one glorious night.
You could go tonight.
You would need to find me a good costume. I would need to be well disguised.
Just be out by midnight.
One of television's hottest shows is back. Part 2 of season 4 of Bridgerton, now streaming on Netflix. Now, over 4 seasons, this show has truly become a worldwide sensation. And anytime a TV show gets that big, usually a lot of tie-in products come with it. In fact, at the store the other day, I came across a fairly interesting Bridgerton product. So I just had to ask the cast about it. I got a big question for you guys. Obviously, over the years, this series has become such a sensation. It kind of stretches beyond the books and the series by this point. And to prove that point, I was at Target the other day, and I found this, which is the official Bridgerton deodorant.
Look at that. There is no escape.
Moonlit Masquerade.
Wow.
What does it smell like?
That's a good question.
What do we smell like?
Success and good choices?
Yeah,
good answer.
I'd love to know, what is the strangest place you've ever seen the Bridgerton name somewhere?
Wow, that's a good one.
Oh, wow. Oh.
The tea is fun, like the little tea bags, but that's not very surprising.
No. There's a lot of collaborations, to be fair. I think it's always just, when you're in your local supermarket and you are just trying to get some veg.
Yeah.
And you're like, there we are.
Yeah.
Didn't know that we had body wash, but there you go.
Yeah.
Ice cream?
Is there a Bridgerton ice cream?
Yeah, Jenny's ice cream, I think.
Really?
Which I would love to try. But it's
Yeah.
just like, they didn't have freezers back then. So I just wonder why.
That's true. How did they have ice? They guess they didn't.
Well, maybe they did. We'll figure that out.
As I was auditioning for Bridgerton, my friend wanted to book me to go see a Bridgerton candlelight concert. And I was just like, wow, okay. Like, that was impressive. And that was an idea into how big the show was. I am sorry. We are...
Everywhere.
We are everywhere.
Yeah, annoyingly.
So sorry about that.
Sorry.
Oh, that thing actually is quite surprising.
Besides that, actually.
Would you ever be caught in public buying your own brand of, like, would we ever see the Bridgerton body wash in your cart?
No, the real answer, Yaron, is
yes.
Depends what the scent is.
Yeah.
It smells like good television.
Okay. Give me that. I've definitely
Like
got
Hannah
a few
would.
bits at home.
I knew
I haven't bought it.
Hannah would definitely go out on a limb, but like, I want that.
I've been given
She
some
collects.
bits.
She's basically collecting everything Bridgerton right now, and that's her calling right now.
I've been gifted a few bits, and it's quite strange in your flat when you're like,
Yeah, that's me.
would you like to use my shower gel? It's called Diamond of the Season.
Mark Stroh, do you use the Good Day Chicago shampoo?
Conditioner.
Just a conditioner.
Yeah.
All right. Don't go anywhere, Mark. We'll have another check of the weather forecast when we come back. Mark Strell.
Yes, sir.
To paraphrase Annie, is the sun going to come out?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. And
Is it actually tomorrow?
It is tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, not so much today.
We're only a day away.
We really are only.
That worked out way better than I expected it to. That's the extent of my Annie knowledge.
You just spin gold every time you open your microphone. Yeah, we have cloudy skies today. We start out in the low 60s, but end up in the 40s by dinner time tonight. We're in the 60s tomorrow. The sun does indeed come out tomorrow, and it sticks around on Monday. Look at Monday. High temperatures near 70. We cool off later in the week, and we have some showers later this week as well.
I love that 70, Mark Strell. And that's
3-day
my day
weekend?
off, too.
Oh, you don't need a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, that's my day off.
Okay.
All right, don't go anywhere. More news is coming up right here on Good Day Chicago at 8 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Live from Michigan Avenue, this is Fox 32's Good Day Chicago.
All right, it was a wet night, but we're starting to dry out a little bit around the city. Mark Strell is here to give us the latest on the weather forecast. And another service is being held today as friends and family come together to remember civil rights icon Reverend Jesse Jackson. And daylight saving time almost here. What doctors are saying about the impact it has on teenagers. Good morning, Saturday, March 7th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jake Hamilton. That's Mark Strell. Are you a spring forward kind of guy?
I wanted to compliment you on nailing it. You know, everyone puts an S on daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we put $1 in our pocket, it's savings.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? I like having light later in the day.
Of course, I do too.
I hate it when it gets dark at like 4:20 in the afternoon.
I know they've been talking about for years now getting rid of.
Right, but then the next part of the discussion is, do you keep standard time or do you keep daylight saving time? And I would definitely, for me personally, I like the light later in the day. I get stuff done. The other reason why we need to have daylight saving time in the summertime, if we didn't push forward, spring forward. The sun would be up at about 4:15 in the morning at a certain point during the summer. So that would be a little early to start most people's day.
Yeah. You know, we're talking a lot about the rain that came through Chicago, but there were some serious implications, some serious repercussions of the rain that came through last night. Let's take a look at this. Plenty of communities in the south suburbs had to deal with flooded streets Friday night, including Linwood and Chicago Heights. You know, I know we talk a lot about the rain, and yeah, it was a lot of rain in the city and everything, but this is where it crosses that threshold where, okay, it's not a joke anymore. Like this is serious stuff.
We had a couple of inches, 2+ inches of rainfall come down a very short period of time, and you can see some of the drains are clogged there. And it came in a couple of different waves, and then a third wave of some rainfall overnight. So there still could be some issues going on here this morning. But we are drying out nicely, so that is certainly good news.
But this was also not necessarily a big surprise. Like you guys, you know, kind of warned people in advance, hey, there's some serious rainfall coming our way.
Right, and we were yesterday between a Category 1 and a Level 1, Level 2 of severe weather on a 5 scale. So, you know, we had some high winds come through. We had some severe thunderstorm warnings. This area that you're seeing here, that was part of a flash flood warning during the early evening hours last night. It lasted till just before 9 o'clock. And, you know, the good news is now, Jake, is that we're starting to dry out here as we go through the rest of the morning.
Yeah, I'm looking at the radar sort of across the way, and it looks like it's making its way through Indiana, through Michigan, into Ohio, but looks like, at least for our area, it's out of the way.
We could sign you up. You could be part of the weather team here, my friend.
I promise you nobody wants that.
Well, we do have a couple of small chances of a little bit of light showery activity that could pop up. And speaking of popping up, right there, you see a shower right around Madison, out towards Geneseo, kind of the Quad City area. There are a couple of little isolated blips. So, yeah, while the main body of the rainfall has pushed out, there still could be a little shower that pops up as we go throughout the late morning and maybe as late as around the noon hour. Cloudy skies otherwise today. Cloudy skies, temperature starting out in the 60s, falling through the 50s, down into the 40s by, say, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock tonight. So our forecast high temperatures look pretty solid. But keep in mind, as this cold front comes through, temperatures will tumble as we go down through the afternoon. Winds will start to pick up again over the next 24 hours, some breezy conditions as that front comes through. Temperatures right now, pretty much upper 50s and low 60s, a good spot to start your day.
Thank you, Mark. Speaking about that, weather cleanup is underway for parts of southwest Michigan after multiple tornadoes went through the region. At least 4 people are dead, while several others were hurt. The tornado outbreak expanded across several Michigan counties. Michigan police confirmed 12 injuries were due to the storm system. In 3 Rivers, Michigan, trees and power lines were brought down. Multiple buildings and cars were also destroyed. Some residents say the outbreak was surreal.
Everybody's phone went off. Everybody's phone went off. The guests, everybody. Yeah. And then the lights started flickering, and that's when I started getting everybody inside. I had one of my servers raise their hand. I'm like, that's Kaylina. Everybody follow Kaylina into the kitchen. I already gave them a warning, like this might potentially happen.
The red van is over there.
Yeah, it's destroyed with trailers.
Destroyed with trailers. How did anybody make it? We were literally at Myers. How did literally?
You were across the street?
Yeah, we work at Myers.
We were like grasping each other's hands.
Nearly 70 million Americans may face severe weather conditions this weekend. Services honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson are set to continue this morning. Many people paid their respects on Friday. Services were held at the House of Hope on Chicago's South Side. The public was invited to come and pay their respects to Reverend Jackson. He died back on February 17th at the age of 84. Many local leaders, including Mayor Brandon Johnson, Governor J.B. Pritzker, Chicago Cubs owner Tom Ricketts, and others attended the service.
See, in America, we find ourselves at a bridge, and we are confronted in this moment. And that bridge is now described as borders, where borders get to determine how human dignity is determined by which side of the border you live on. He understood the bridge. And so now we are in the midst of a choice to choose hope over despair, light over darkness, love over hate, because he knew there was too much to gain on the other side of the bridge. Bishop shared, I think I feel my help coming.
Here in Chicago, he was our neighbor,
He was our friend. We were so proud. We are so proud. Here, his message of hope was one he offered in a friendly smile to the child playing in front of their home, or the tap on the shoulder for the young man looking for just a little bit of encouragement. He taught us to expand our ambitions and dare to imagine a better world.
Services will continue today with a homegoing celebration of life at Rainbow Push Coalition headquarters starting at 10 a.m. New this morning, President Donald Trump warns on social media more Iranian officials will be targeted, saying, quote, today, Iran will be hit very hard. This comes as Israel launches more strikes on Iran and Lebanon's capital cities. President Trump has ruled out any negotiations with Iran, calling for its unconditional surrender. Iran's president has so far rejected the idea of surrendering, even though he has apologized for attacking countries located in the Persian Gulf. Iran continued to launch drones and missile strikes at Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Just as we're getting ready to move the clocks forward by an hour, a new study shows many teens are already not getting enough sleep. Research found more than 75% of high school students say they are getting less than 7 hours of sleep per night. A quarter of teens from the study say they're only clocking in about 5 hours. The study, released in the Journal of the American Medical Association, interviewed 120,000 high school students for more than 15 years. Researchers found insufficient sleep was more strongly linked to anxiety and depression as opposed to social media use and screen time. Doctors tell Fox Chicago this weekend is a good opportunity to talk with kids about healthy sleeping habits.
I think it's just a very good reminder for all of us how important sleep is, and emphasizes the importance of sleep in adolescents. And I hope it also sparks some attention to Illinois efforts to make later start school time. We as pediatricians and sleep medicine physicians feel very strongly about it. And I think there is a way for all us, including educators and parents and students, to collaborate.
Clocks will jump ahead at 2 a.m. on Sunday. The Chicago Bears have found their new center. According to multiple reports, the Bears have traded a 2027 fifth-round pick to the New England Patriots for Garrett Bradbury. Before signing a deal with the Patriots last offseason, he played 6 seasons for the Vikings. He comes with a $6.9 million cap hit for the upcoming season. Coming up, a new nonprofit has a new way of providing help to patients at children's hospitals. We'll have the details when we come back.
Mobile.
Welcome back, 8:12. Mark Stroh, we talk a lot about, you know, the Fool's Spring thing and us kind of falling for it. Yeah.
Fool's Spring.
You know, I know we had some warmer temperatures in February.
Right.
And we're having them again. I saw a 70 in your upcoming forecast. It's hard not to feel like we're waving goodbye to winter. And I know I say that in a blizzard will blow through in 10 days, but I'm falling for it. I'm like Charlie Brown with the football.
And I guess I'm Lucy in your analogy. I'm the one
setting it up for me every time.
Because there is a chance. There's a chance of snow.
Oh, see? I didn't even know you were going to say that.
There's a chance.
Come on, man.
There's a possibility. Yeah, so enjoy the 70 degrees.
Yeah, I plan on it.
You know, it is March after all. You know, it comes in like a, you know, belligerent panda and it exits as an armadillo, right? Isn't that the old saying? No?
Is that it?
Do I have my analogies wrong there? Entirely possible. Well, today, winds coming in from the south. Look at the winds are starting to pick up. Nearly 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts now at O'Hare. 34-mile-per-hour wind gusts along the lake in Waukegan. And you can see a little bit blustery here today. Starting out with temperatures in the 60s. That's the good news. We fall through the 50s midday into the 40s by late in the afternoon. The good news also is that we are also getting rid of the rainfall for the most part. There could be a couple of isolated blips show up on the radar as we go through late morning to around the noon hour, maybe 1 o'clock this afternoon. 99% of us are not going to see that, but you just need to know that that is a possibility. So when you say, hey, man, I was listening to you earlier today and I had to kick on the windshield wipers for a short period of time, that is why. There are a couple little blips, the last frame or two up around Madison, couple little isolated little pixels there around the Quad Cities. So not 100% dry, just 99% dry because the main body of the rainfall moving away from us. Cloudy skies, winds picking up, temperatures today starting out on the mild side. We go down into the 30s tonight after we clear out. Tomorrow looks like a very exceptional day. We're back up into the low 60s. There's some sunshine around tomorrow and even warmer and nicer conditions on Monday. And then, yeah, the 14-day outlook calling for blue.
I like blue. Thank you, Mark Stroh. The Hope Always Foundation is bringing comfort and connection to pediatric patients by bringing Warrior tablets to children's hospitals. Joining me now, Bobby Kesselman, the executive director of the nonprofit, who also has a pretty cool connection to shows like Family Guy and American Dad, and also a connection to us right here at Fox 32. Bobby, so much to talk about. We were just talking during the break, and there's so many different levels of you being here that we have to talk about, but I want to start out talking about the Hope Always Foundation. For someone who's never heard of that, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Absolutely. Hope Always Foundation is a nonprofit organization I started a couple years ago with my dad, who was an executive director for a long time, and I lost my sister in high school.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And it's taken a very long time to kind of understand everything that's happened. It's been a very long while, and the impact, obviously, for my family and both my parents and sort of everybody involved trying to figure out how to make something positive of it. And the last couple years, we really started to be able to develop a program that can make something really positive for pediatric patients. And it's been not only incredibly healing for me, but it's been an incredible community project, especially growing up in Chicago, being able to get all my friends and family involved, and we have some incredible support from just like the businesses and all the people around it. Chicago's easily the best city in the world, so I'm so glad to be back.
You know, I want to touch on something that you just mentioned about making something positive out of the loss of your sister, which I'm sure was just an unimaginable loss, but sort of that, using that Jack Lemmon quote of sending the elevator back down, the good you're able to do kind of in her name, you know, and that has got to sort of, it's something I'd imagine she'd be very proud of.
Yeah, and it really took me a long time to kind of understand it, of like my parents ended up divorcing, and like what, for me especially, the foundation is, it's not just for the pediatric patients, it's also for the families. And it's also something to do to be able to create a really wonderful thing that can connect everybody, even the administration for the hospitals and everything, is putting all the great stuff on one tablet where parents don't have to worry about. It's remotely secured. We have the best content available.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about, so these are, when we talk about the Warrior tablets, this is what you're talking about.
Exactly. So we have like Pixar movies, Disney movies. We also have video books called Vooks. So we try to put in all the great inspirational content on there that kids can real easily get through. And we work with an incredible licensing company called Swank, and they've just been amazing for us. And we get these into hospitals. We're in Stroger, Rush, and we're going to be in La Rabida on Monday. And then one of the things we're also trying to do is go from the Warrior tablets to get the Warrior channel into the TVs. So it's not just a tablet thing, that we can really improve the overall experience for pediatric care and for parents.
You know, I'd imagine, you know, so much assistance from other people. You talk about, you know, licensing for the movies or the TV shows. What do you need to help make this a bigger success than it already
is? Donations are the things that help us buy the tablets. It helps us pay for the licensing. It helps us make the connections with all the hospitals. And so any donations, and then we also do a lot of fundraisers. So what we try to do is put the fun in fundraisers. Cheesy as that line is, we really do try to create collective activities. Like we're going to be at the Painted Penguin on tomorrow. We have a really wonderful 10 to 4 at the Painted Penguin in Hawthorne Center in Vernon Hills. And then we have a Life Sport pickleball free play from 5 to 8 in Vernon Hills. And then on Monday, we have Portillo's Food for All from 5 to 8. If you go on hopealwaysfoundation.org, it has all the information. And we just want everybody to join us and have a great time with their family.
I love that. Love that. I mentioned at the beginning of the segment that there's so many different things that I have to talk about with you. And we're going to do a drastic shifting of gears.
Absolutely.
And because it might surprise people to hear, you have a pretty serious involvement with us here at Fox in a lot of ways. First and foremost, we air a show called Family Guy.
That's so true.
Which
Peanut here.
See, okay, what you do, explain to people your role on Family Guy.
So I got super lucky. I did Second City in LA and in Chicago, and when I got to LA, we had a industry night where all the industry people come in, but I had absolutely no credits on my resume, so I listed the voices. The casting director from Family Guy called me up and was like, hey, we need background voices, and would you want to come in? And I was like, yeah. And actually, it was American Dad, because Family Guy had been canceled at that time.
Wow.
So we had started the first season, and then Family Guy got brought back in, and so I started doing background vocals. Like, I'm basically like a stuntman for Seth MacFarlane for his voice.
So what does that mean?
So when the episode's done, like, it's a lot cheaper to hire me than have Seth come back in and do the things that need to be filled in. So if like Peter falls down the stairs, it'll be like, or Stewie getting kicked, like, So we get to watch the scenes, and then they're like, okay, we need this. And it's just, I've been doing it for 20 years, 700 episodes.
So did you always know that you could do those voices? Did you have to work with Seth at all to kind of make sure that they match up?
No, I lucked out. Like, I kind of have sort of his natural register, and so I just kind of lucked out in terms of being able to fit right in. And then we did the Cleveland show, and I also worked for a show called Invincible.
Sure.
Season 4 is coming out in a couple weeks, so I've just literally been like the luckiest voice actor in the world.
So if I were to sit down and watch an episode with you, could you listen and go, that sounds good. That word's not mine, that sound is mine?
Right. Oh yeah, like there are times like I'll have it on and I'll walk and I'll be like, oh, I know that laugh. Oh wait, that's me. Like, oh, okay, because like we also do like, we'll fill in scenes if they're in like the clam. Sure. We talk in gibberish, so it'll be,
Okay, you know, and we're talking about all these amazing things you're a part of. You're helping children and families at children's hospitals. You're a massive part of one of the most popular animated series in television history. And you got your start right here at Fox 32. Explain to people what you used to do here back in the day.
Absolutely. So I was at DePaul and always wanted to be in TV, obviously loved it, and got an internship at Fox 32, working with Greg Miller and Dan Jiggets in the sports department. And it was like the 90s where it was Michael Jordan. Couldn't have been a better time to be here. So
that was unreal. Now, it was here in the studio where it is now, but obviously, I mean, the studio's changed since I've been here. It looks a little different than whenever you were an intern.
I was like, was I here? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that step. Yeah. But everything else has been updated and modernized.
Different offices are at different places now. The restroom's in a different place than it used to be. All right.
But it's still the best. You guys are the best.
Well, we love you, man. We love what you're doing. Really quick, quick, let's give people one more time information on where they can help out with the Hope Always Foundation.
Absolutely. Go to hopealwaysfoundation.org and come check out Hope Always Weekend in Vernon Hills. We have the Painted Penguin. We have incredible sponsors. Kate Pachulek has been amazing in terms of getting us out there. And we have Crispin Green is giving food, City Barbecue. First Bank Chicago has been an incredible sponsor for us as well. Like the main thing I would love to pass on is how great corporate social responsibility has been. And I know companies get a lot of bad raps, but everybody we've dealt with, especially First Bank Chicago, has done everything they can to improve the community. And if you can, please come out. Please support our sponsors. John Reuter is a real estate agent who will get you everything you need, and he has been an unbelievable supporter of the foundation. So,
well, we just want to get as many of those tablets.
Absolutely, and that's the most important.
Bobby,
thank
we appreciate
you so much.
All right, guys, coming up, everybody here at Fox 32, we do whatever we have to land the biggest stories, and sometimes that means even doing interviews when you're broken down on the side of the road. I'm going to show you my interview with Ryan Gosling that's kind of gone viral when Good Day Chicago returns.
The world is counting on you.
It's now or never.
The new movie Project Hail Mary follows a scientist stuck in space who also just so happens to be mankind's only hope for survival. And when I had the chance to chat with the star of the film, Ryan Gosling, I related a little too much to the idea of being stuck and needing help. Now listen, all of us here at Fox 32, we do whatever we have to land the story. So when I was recently broken down on the side of the road outside the Grand Canyon with an interview booked with Ryan, I had to improvise, and that led to an interaction unlike anything I've ever experienced that's since gone viral and has been viewed millions and millions of times around the world.
In the middle of my own project. Ryan, good to see you again, my friend. How are you?
Are you in a volcano?
Okay, so I'm actually in the middle of my own Project Hail Mary because I was rushing back from a tour of the Grand Canyon to do this interview, and we broke down on the side of the road.
No!
And I am on the side of the road surrounded by Rocky's family.
There's like 4 cars on a trailer just went by behind you. Just get one of those.
Obviously, I would do anything not to miss an interview with you, man. So I appreciate you still taking the time.
And you look like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, like the one where he's climbing. Yes.
Listen, man, I hope you know that this is not what I wanted for our interview, man, but I appreciate you taking the time.
This is amazing. This is not, I don't want you to be stranded, but this is the production value on this is
weirdly kind of works for this movie, man.
Do you technically need to have a permit to shoot there?
I don't know if we can pan over. Like that's literally that's my bus over there full of people, and we're broken.
Oh, it's a bus.
So we're here, but I did not want to miss this interview, man. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Did you see the Grand Canyon?
Well, I saw the Grand Canyon. It was almost as beautiful as Project Hail Mary.
Oh, wow. See,
like
and now you're back at work.
I'd love to know, even though there are 3 different films in space, how are the acting experiences different for you?
Do you have help on the way? Hold on. Let's just first things first. Do you have water?
We have water. We do have water.
Are you staying hydrated?
We are staying hydrated in the middle of the desert, yes.
You're sure? And you're sure you have enough water for everyone? Because that could get ugly.
Listen, I said I've got water.
That's what I was going to say. Squirrel away a little. Start squirreling. ABS, man. Always be squirreling in a situation.
Always be squirreling. That's the Hamilton family motto, Ryan Gosling. Listen, I've got water and I've got hair product. I'm good to go. And you know the best part of this, my girlfriend is holding the phone.
Can she turn it around, please?
Babe,
Hi.
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 This is Iris.
Hi, Iris.
On the phone.
This is Ryan.
You're MVP, Iris.
I know, this is fun.
That was a good question that I asked, by the way.
It was a great question. Sorry. Thank you, Iris, for doing this.
Yeah, no problem.
Love that. I'll cut you loose on this, Ryan Gosling. There's a beautiful quote in the film, find someone to be brave for. In your life, who do you feel like you have to be brave for?
Well, I mean, my kids, obviously. That's like, and you.
I'm on the side of the road for you, Ryan.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'm going to say my kids first. Sorry.
And then?
Sorry, not sorry. And then you. And then I'll be brave for you. I mean, I am worried about your hydration. Do you have you got a power bar?
We've got, what do we got? We've got about half a bag of gummy worms.
Okay.
And a can-do attitude, much like Grace does in the film. Here's what I'll tell you. If you don't see me on your next junket or maybe even Project Hail Mary 2.
I'll find you and Tom Cruise climbing a mountain somewhere.
But hey, man, I hope that this was one of the more memorable interviews that you had on this press tour.
Absolutely. And just special thanks to Iris.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. We love you. Thank you for rolling with this, man. This wasn't how I wanted this to be, but I appreciate you being a good sport.
Do you guys have a blanket if it gets cold?
We have each other. And we have memories of this moment.
Okay.
And that'll keep us warm for a lifetime.
I definitely want to hear that you got out of this.
I will reach out to the studio and let you know.
Okay, let us know.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, love you, buddy.
Bye.
Well, we got out of it.
Well, that's good. Yes. Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah?
He was a good sport, though.
That was unbelievable.
And here's the deal. That was a very trimmed down version. We did end up actually talking about the film, believe it or not. But there are so many elements. I'm sure you've probably made that drive from Vegas to the Grand Canyon.
Sure.
And a majority of that drive, there's no signal whatsoever.
Yeah, no, it's nothing.
And a majority of that drive, there's no safe place to pull over. There's so many elements that had to fall into place for that video to exist. We had to have a pocket of cell phone signal. We had to have a safe place to be able to get off the bus. So I often tell people that, the video is what it is because of Ryan Gosling and because of Iris, my girlfriend, holding the camera. I am the least important factor in that video being what it was. But
I always enjoy. I love every one of your interviews because you bring out stuff out of actors and actresses in Hollywood that other people just don't get. But that was one of the best interviews I think. Here,
it wasn't I had a plan. People keep asking me, well, why did you book a tour of the Grand Canyon? I said because we timed it out. I knew we were going to have hours back in Vegas, and I was going to set up in my hotel room, and it was going to be fine. And we improvised and we made it work. But I swear, if I start seeing these influencer kids doing their interviews on the side of the road, I'm going to be ticked off.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. More to come. Good Day Chicago rolls on. We'll be right back.
I love it.
More from money. Huntington Bank.
I love it so much. It's the movies you love like you've never seen them before. The Chicago Philharmonic continues the Auditorium Films concert series with a little film called Raiders of the Lost Ark, live in concert. It'll feature John Williams' iconic, legendary score performed live while you're watching the film. Joining us to talk all about it, the conductor, Thiago Tiberio. Thiago, good to see you again, my friend.
Great to see you, Jake.
You know, I always love talking with you because it means something great is coming to our city. In the grand scope of John Williams' career, you've got Star Wars, you've got Jaws, E.T., Jurassic Park. Where do you rank his work on Raiders in his filmography?
Oh my gosh! I mean, Superman. I mean, there's so much. I frankly, I cannot rank it. It's impossible to rank it because everything is. First of all, it all sounds like him. It has his DNA. So when you hear it, you know it's him. You know, based on the themes, the orchestration, everything just screams, "Hey, it's me, John Williams." But it's the same treatment. It's the same marriage of music with image that works so well. He has such a great sensibility for what's going to work, and he just writes it, and that's what we get. And so, to me, it's impossible to rank. It's right up there with all the greats that you mentioned.
You know, I've seen this film, you know, live in concert before, and I was surprised the first time I went. Obviously, we all know the Raiders March, da 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 da, but how, I don't know if this is the right word, but how infrequently that's used in the movie. The movie is so much more than just ba da da da, because they actually don't use that theme that often in the film.
That's correct. It's only used in key moments, basically, you know, when he's doing well, when he's winning. But it's just so iconic. And when it's used, as you just heard now, in the one cue that you played, he plays it in one key, then he modulates it, playing it every dun 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 dun. You know, he's so the way that he develops it, the way that, you know, that it's repeating and constantly changing, the fact that it's so memorable, it just makes it like ingrained in us. But there's also other fantastic themes as usual. For instance, Marion's theme, da 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 da, that beautiful lyrical love, you know, melody. That's also, to me, super memorable. You know, both themes are not overused, and that's kind of the genius of it too. Is like it would be so easy to overuse a theme as a film composer, and the fact that he treats the film and he only uses it in key moments makes it that more special.
Thiago, I've got to say, you had the voice of an angel, my friend. You know, I've got to tell you, you know, I take great pride in, you know, I do a lot of the celebrity interviews, and I, for the most part, you know, I've done it for a long time. I can keep my cool. I've had the great pleasure of meeting John Williams twice. And neither times did I keep my cool. I think I was almost on the verge of, I think he almost had to use his tie to wipe the tears from my eyes because I was just geeking out to him so much. Have you had the great pleasure of meeting the icon himself, Mr. John Williams?
Sadly, I have not. Life has not made that possible yet. Who knows? Maybe one day soon. But, you know, I'm also okay with it because there's that thing about, like, not meeting your heroes. So it's like, to me, he's in such a huge pedestal that, you know, if life and the universe, God, you know, whatever you want to say, if they don't want to, you know, like our lines to cross, that I have to be okay with that, you know.
You know, I was telling you in commercial break that one of the reasons I'm most excited, I'll be out there when you guys are performing this. I recently learned that my girlfriend has never actually seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I think it's just one of those movies that, you know, so many of us have seen. In fact, I mean, I grew up with, I have a VHS copy of it at home. But there are going to be people who are coming out when you guys are here later in March. And it's going to be the first time they've ever seen Raiders. And you and I were saying, if you've never seen Raiders before, I mean, what a first time to see it, something like this.
To me, this is the way to see it. So, Iris, I can't wait to have you, you know, there in the theater at the auditorium with us. It's the way to see it because you're going to get basically all the details of the music you're going to be able to hear. It's not the same experience as being at home or trying to watch it on your laptop or an iPad. It's kind of the opposite of that. You're going to get a lot more score, a lot more details of the music. And because music is emotion, we are going to hopefully be able to bring that emotion to you in a much more powerful way. And so should be an unforgettable experience.
And honestly, I always say that even if you've seen it a million times, seeing it like this is very much like seeing it for the first time. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was going to ask this question. What is for you underrated John Williams? Like, we all know Jaws, we all know E.T., we know Jurassic Park, we know Raiders. What? Because I would say like Catch Me If You Can is underrated John Williams. What
yes.
is? Oh,
that's
yes.
where I was going. Exactly that.
It's such a great. I mean, you know, I always say that the 15th best John Williams score would be a masterpiece for anybody else.
I actually rate Catch Me If You Can above everything else for me. Because
wow, that's a bold statement, sir.
Yeah. So, and that score is like, it's jazz combined with film scoring, and it's like, to me, it's just, you know, the whole construction of that score is absolutely so amazing. And when I first heard it, I was like, what? John Williams wrote this? Oh my God. Like, I thought he was a genius. Now I'm like, you know, that pedestal grew a little bit more even. So yeah, to me, like, yes, as much as I love Star Wars, you know, I'm crazy about Star Wars. I'm crazy about, you know, everything he's written, basically. But to me, Catch Me If You Can is absolutely underrated. And to me, that and AI, by the way, AI also.
Well
AI is another film that's right up there, man. And like, a lot of people don't know it, don't understand it, but that score is probably the best score that he's ever written, actually.
You and I could do this all day. You guys are going to be at the Auditorium Theater a little bit later this month. Tickets still available March 28th. I will be out there. I will see you out there, my friend. And I am so excited. I might have to just get up and just give you a big high five whenever the Raiders March gets started.
Please do. You can say woo. Or,
yeah, I plan on it.
Yell something like that, and I'll be listening.
My man, good to see you, buddy. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Likewise, my friend.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right, guys, coming up, believe it or not, St. Patrick's Day is approaching. We're going to talk with the Guinness ambassador. Everything you need to know to get ready for the greenest day of the year when Good Day Chicago returns.
GuineaRx.com.
All right, guys, 8:47. It's almost time. We're getting ready, one day closer to St. Patrick's Day, which is always a big holiday for us here in the Chicago area. Lots of bars, lots of breweries have big plans, and among them is Open Gate Brewery. Joining us now, arguably maybe one of the most popular people in Chicago at this moment, the Guinness ambassador, Owen Clavin. Owen, my friend, good to see you. I'd imagine any bar you walk into in Chicago, and instantly you're the guy everyone wants to hang out with.
Well, we try. First of all, thanks very much for having us in here this morning. It's great to be here. Great to be chatting everybody out here in Chicagoland. So
what does it mean to be the Guinness ambassador? What does that mean exactly?
Well, I mean, the joke is my father says it sounds more like I won a prize than got a job. But
that means it's a good job.
It's a good job.
Yeah.
It's a good job. But when you work for Guinness, it's my job amongst other things. So we always have a myriad of tasks and jobs to do, and that goes from outreach, talking about all things Guinness, to making sure the pint is great. That when you walk into a pub, that pint should be every bit as good as the pint that you get when you're in St. James's Gate in Dublin or in Ireland.
We were just talking about that. I was telling you it's on my bucket list to visit you guys in Dublin, and there is, and I'm not trying to blow smoke or anything, but there is an artistry to, like, a Guinness can be poured wrong. And whenever you go and you visit, the spots around town, I know you're kind of on a tour around the country right now, what are the do's and don'ts of pouring a Guinness the right way?
Well, so first of all, when we're coming up to sort of Riverdine Day, that we've got this weekend, you may get your Guinness in a plastic cup.
Sure.
That is for speed. That's to make sure everybody
not
can
preferred,
enjoy.
but if it's got to happen, it's got to happen.
But there's 364 other days in the year,
in which we don't want it in a plastic cup.
So what you'll see is we've got our classic two-part pour.
Sure.
So with the two-part pour, you have a clean branded Guinness glass. You hold it at a 45-degree angle. You start your pour it to halfway up the harp. Leave it to settle, and that's where you see that surge, and cascade, and the nitrogen separating out from the beer, where you get that creamy, velvety head, and then you top it up. And so from first pour to presentation to the customer, that's generally about 119.5 seconds.
Wow. See, I love that you've got it down to the half second.
Oh, that 0.5 is crucial.
It makes all the difference in the world. Open Gate Brewery, they have a lot going on as we're coming up to St. Patrick's Day. What can people expect?
So Open Gate Brewery, Guinness Festival this Friday through Sunday. So we will be having live music, entertainment, events all throughout the weekend. We are going to be opening our doors at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, welcoming guests from not only all over the area, but all over the country.
Sure.
So a little pilgrimage to Guinness on Riverdine Day. But as I said, we're opening Friday, Saturday, Sunday for this event. We will have tickets available. There were early bird tickets that are all sold out.
Okay.
But Saturday will be ticket only. There will be tickets available on the Guinness Instagram website for the brewery in Chicago. So that's Guinness Brewery Shy. So you'll see there'll be a live link there. That'll be Monday morning for general admission, and we should have some available on the door on the day of as well.
Beautiful. I would imagine St. Patrick's Day, particularly for Guinness, it's like Super Bowl. It's the sort of the big time of the year. Are there going to be things available specifically for this time of year that maybe the other time of the year wouldn't be available?
So we have a sister brewery in Baltimore in Maryland, and there for the last number of years we've been partnering with a honey company called Apex Bee Company.
Really?
And so we've been brewing this beautiful spring ale. So it's called Clover Honey Ale. So we use pure clover honey, break it down with our fabulous Guinness yeast, and it gives this just wonderful spring ale. So we're very happy that for the second year we've been able to bring that from Baltimore to Chicago. So that'll be a surprise and delight for anybody who arrives.
Now we've got just about 30 seconds left. I'm sure wherever you go, people gush to you about how much they love a Guinness. For the person out there who's never had one before, how do you sell it? What's your elevator pitch?
So Guinness is, we kind of joke it's the original light beer. It's low calorie, it's low ABV, but you've got those like dark chocolate notes and coffee flavors. And that actually ties in when we're talking about chocolate notes. we're doing a special partnership with the Pop-Up Bagel Company.
Cool.
And so Pop-Up Bagels, we've created with them and their wonderful team a Guinness chocolate stout cake schmear. So this Thursday and Friday, we're going to be doing a special pop-up bagel feature at our brewery in Chicago here, 8 a.m. to 11. Come down, get it. It's going to be fantastic.
I'll be there. Owen Clavin, most popular man in Chicago. Good to see you, sir. Have a great St. Patrick's Day. Don't go anywhere. Mark's going to have a final check of the forecast when we come back.
Mornings on Fox 32 Chicago.
So, you know, viewers at home can't see it, but across to our left, big giant board that has your 7-day forecast on there, and I see just this glowing number that says 70.
Yeah. And that would be for Monday.
That's it. I'll take
And you know, the beautiful thing about that, there's a button in the control room they can push, and then we can share that big glowing board. Yes, it's amazing. So here's the deal. We start out in the 60s here this morning, but we're going to tumble throughout the afternoon. We're in the 50s midday, 40s by, 5, 6 o'clock at night. We're in the 30s eventually overnight tonight. But we're back into the low 60s again tomorrow with some sunshine. A pretty decent day tomorrow. And even more better on Monday with temperatures of 70. After that, we cool off and there's a chance of more rainfall. But, we need the rain. So there you go.
Up for a little walk. Let her stretch her legs a little bit.
There you go.
Apartment. Not bad about it. Mark Strome, we survived another Saturday, my friend.
Good to see you.
Happy Saturday to you. Thank you so much for watching this morning. Fox 32 will be back with the latest news at 9 tonight. This guy will be here.
I'll be back
See you tomorrow.